I'm very proud of the episodes that we've been doing this year in Season 2. I think there are a couple that I really, really like that stand out, and one of them is episode 205, The Serena Also Rises, which was our big fashion show episode. And I thought this episode felt just like a real quintessential Gossip Girl episode, where you had a great, fun set piece revolving around Fashion Week that kind of brought together Serena and Blair and Jenny and Eleanor and Rufus. And then we also had this other story that I really loved that kind of focused on Chuck and Dan, which was a really interesting kind of surprising pairing of two characters. We've also done a run of episodes where we've kind of left our Upper East Side world and gone a little bit more into the Lower East Side with Pret-a-Pour Jay and the episode that comes after that when Jenny does her guerrilla fashion show. And that's been fun too, to think about, you know, dirty Lower East Side bars and the art world, and a kind of a different take on New York that we haven't done in the show before, and that's been great to stretch our muscles and kind of go in a different place and do our Gossip Girl version of what that world is too. Kayla B had a question for us. She asked, how did Nate and Jenny or Nate and Vanessa come about as story ideas? And Nate and Jenny is actually a pretty big story in the books. So we knew from the beginning that that was probably an area that we were going to touch on. And we kind of teased at some Nate and Jenny story last year. They had their kiss at the masquerade ball where Nate thought that Jenny was Serena, and they had a couple of nice moments throughout the year where you got a sense of them kind of being connected to each other, maybe Jenny having a bit of a crush on Nate, or like in the episode where it's her birthday, she kind of goes to Nate for his help. With the Mean Girls, you kind of feel like Nate is looking out for her. Similarly, last year, we really felt like there was an organic connection, not from the books, but from our show, between Nate and Vanessa. The way they were kind of crossing into each other's stories. I think the first real connection they had was in our SAT episode when Nate came to Brooklyn to do something nice for Dan, and Vanessa got a little bit in his face, and it felt like they had chemistry, and Nate actually convinced Vanessa to take her SATs, which has been quietly but importantly sort of a big thing in our stories, because it's going to allow Vanessa to go to college next year when the rest of our kids graduate, and that's kind of the small thing that Nate did for her is going to open this whole world. Julia05 wants to know, are we going to see any of Blair and Nate and Blair and Dan? And the answer to that is yes to both of them. Nate and Blair, I think this year, have a really nice relationship. They've really kind of become friends, and their romantic past has become a very nice platform for a deep friendship where they know each other very well and can be there for each other. But something that we're going to hint at towards the end of the season is that Nate's going to be working very hard to kind of grow up now that he's dealt with the situation with his father, and his future is a little bit more, you know, his to make. And I think that we all feel, without giving too much away what's going to happen, at the end of something like high school, there's a tremendous pull towards the people that we started our journey with. And there's sort of the last semester of senior year, you find yourself looking back on who was with you when you started this journey, and certain feelings come to the surface that might be surprising you. And with regards to Blair and Dan, we're actually doing an upcoming episode where Dan and Blair are going to find themselves starring in the school play together, and that will bring out some very interesting conflict on both sides.